Hi, I'm Allie and welcome back to Haven's Kitchen. Today, we're going to be making a 10-minute saucy tofu ramen. A lot more of us are cooking ourselves lunch at home these days, and there's no reason for it to be a sad desk lunch or a sad work from home lunch. We can make a really delicious lunch in under 5-10 minutes using our delicious coconut cashew sauce. This is a really delicious, kind of hearty, but also really light lunch or dinner. It's basically just fresh ramen noodles, some tofu, some cilantro and scallions, all simmered in a little bit of water and our coconut cashew sauce. It's packed with ginger and lemongrass, coconut milk, really beautiful macroot leaves, like just incredible flavors that are really hard to get as a home cook, but that we've put all in a handy dandy pouch for you. If this recipe sounds like something you'd like to try, be sure to subscribe to see this and all of our future cooking videos. All right, let's get started. First, I want to talk a little bit about pressing tofu. So, the thing about tofu is it's a great protein, super nutrient dense, really good. But if you don't know how to cook with it, it can come out kind of a little soggy, doesn't always absorb all the flavor of whatever you're cooking it in. So the trick to tofu really is getting it a good press. What pressing it does is it gets out all of that extra water so that when you cook it, it absorbs all of the flavors that you're adding to the dish. It also helps if you want to get like a crispy sear on your tofu, which you don't always want, but I like things crispy. So if you get out the liquid, you're able to get that kind of crispy crust and then put it with the sauce and all of the other flavors. So in the morning, you can basically take your tofu out of the box, put it on a plate. You do not need a tofu press, as many people are going to try to sell you. And basically just, make sure that you put some paper towels down and you can see all of this liquid. I've just pretty much cut it in half. It's okay when it breaks. Cut it in half, put more paper towel on top, a smaller plate, and just weight it down with a couple of cans back in the fridge. You can leave it like this overnight. You can do this in the morning and get a couple of hours before lunchtime. You can do it in the morning, and then when you get back from work, you can do it for dinner. So this has been pressing for just a couple of hours, and already we've gotten so much of the moisture out. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut it into cubes. It is gentle, so we do have to be gentle with it. And we're just gonna cut it into cubes. We're gonna try to get it evenly sized. Again, even sizes will help with even cooking. But you can see all of that extra liquid come out. And now I'm just gonna cut cubes. Again, pretty even. And this little piece here, I'm gonna make into cubes. And I'm gonna sear this up. It's gonna take, a little bit in the pan. The trick to a good sear is not moving it too much. So we're really gonna let it sit in that oil for a minute, get a good sear, flip it, and then add in the sauce. So let's head over to the stove. So we're gonna use a heavy bottom cast iron pan for this. It's not totally necessary, but I do want the heat really evenly displaced. We're gonna heat it up a little bit and then add our cooking oil and then add the tofu, piece by piece. You just want to get a good coating on the pan. And when you start to see shimmer in your oil, you'll know it's hot enough to add your tofu in. We're doing it in a single layer so that they really get that crisp on the bottom as opposed to sort of steaming on top of each other. And we're gonna add a little salt. Okay, so now I'm gonna remove the tofu and we're just gonna set this aside on a plate and we're gonna add it back in once our noodles are cooked. Now we're just gonna add in our scallions. scrape up some of those bits. And basically we just want some of the liquid to evaporate and the noodles just to cook through. But we're really just making this really beautiful ginger lemongrass coconut milk broth. If you wanted to use coconut milk instead of water, you could do that too. But water is just fine. There's enough flavor in the sauce. Okay. Now these are nice and cooked. Almost all the way done. That was like 1.5 minutes. And just for the last couple minutes, or the last couple seconds, we're gonna add back in our tofu. And that's it. So that took, just a couple of minutes of cooking time, and we have this like really delicious broth that has the flavors of lemongrass and coconut milk. Now we're just gonna garnish it, a little cilantro, some more of the greens of the scallions that we cut. We didn't use all of them. We used mostly the white for the cooking and the greens for the garnish. And I just wanna put some peanuts on top because, peanuts. And there you have it, a 10-minute saucy tofu ramen with our coconut cashew sauce. If you enjoyed this recipe, be sure to like this video and subscribe to see all of our future cooking and tips and tricks videos. For the full recipe and a textable shopping list, click the link below. Thank you so much for watching, and cook happy.